Oh.
Hello.
Hello. It's two of the Granati brothers, and I got to tell you, we're real lucky to be with them here at the Main Stage Theater, Lincoln Park. And on Friday night, it's all about the CD release party for the show. And I got to tell you, if you haven't heard it, drop it. Amazon, iTunes, get it. It's great. I like it like that. Shake it. Just a couple of the cuts that literally will slay you. It's tremendous stuff. And also Recipes That Rock cookbook coming out. Nobody does better meatballs than the Granati brothers. So let's talk about, both of you are teachers here, and you have been here pretty much since day one. Let's talk about the early stages of Lincoln Park, Joey, and David can kind of pick it up where we are today.
Yeah, well, it's kind of well known that when we were first invited here, there was still dust on the floor. We were here before they did the wipe down, as it's called in construction business. Brought us in, showed us around, our minds were completely fried. And they said, hey, we want this to be something that has never happened in Beaver County. And if there's going to be a school of music and art, the Granati's got to be part of it. That's how they introduced themselves to us, which was quite a compliment. And yeah, there's been lots of changes in the school systems. And David now teaches PA Cyber.
Right.
And I'm still on the books here, but they don't have the School of Rock here anymore. It had to get cut in 2008. So we took it to Ambridge, but the roots are here.
Right.
The way we look at it, we don't forget we're Italians. We don't forget where we came from.
We have representatives from every stage of the rock thing. Originally, it was the Mancini Rock, so we have two members of that. And that was, as he spoke of that time when we did it, was that the school hadn't even opened. We did it in the summer prior to their first school year. So a couple of representatives from that, then we have a couple of the original when we started the academy. Now we have some current. We have a 13-year-old guitar player that will blow your mind.
Listen, and let's kind of go full circle, 2016. I talked to Lori earlier. This place, I think it's only the beginning. They're still on the launching pad. I think it's the universe and beyond, don't you?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because it's art in the schools, first of all, and it's like the movie Mr. Holland's Opus. If you don't give a young mind art and music, what will they have to count about later? Okay? Read, write, and subtract, and all that other stuff. Unless you have some culture, what is there to talk about or figure out or fill out your checkbook?
It would be like going to a wedding without the wedding dance.
Plus, it always makes a little cash, too, for the bride and groom, which is a good thing. Mr. Holland's Opus by the Richard Dreyfuss.
Love that movie.
Great movie.
It's my favorite movie.
You know, arts have really taken a really tough turn here in recent years because of budgets getting slashed left and right. I mean, just think where you guys wouldn't have been today if you didn't have those wonderful music teachers back at Beaver Falls, right?
Yeah, we would have got suspended a whole lot more.
Yeah, that's right.
Because Dave and I, let's face it, I mean, they used to catch me in the band room, okay? I used to go to where the practice rooms were. I would skip study halls to go down there. They would get mad, but they couldn't get too mad because then they would say, well, your punishment will be now you have to accompany the course.
But then, right out of the bathtub in their matching white T-shirts in front of their black and white Zenith, here they are, the Beatles. That's where it really started for you guys, right?
Absolute truth. Yeah. The four of us watched the Beatles on our mom and dad's living room floor. February 9th, 1964. And the next day, we found tennis rackets in the closet. We were all playing tennis rackets. We were Beatles. Hold our hair down. Within a couple of weeks, there was a shoe store in Beaver Falls called Enlo's.
Yeah, loved it.
Yeah.
First pair of Converse tennis shoes.
Exactly, but Enlo's got in Beatles shoes, and I wore them to school with a leather jacket, and they sent me home. I wore a leather jacket and Beatle boots to school, and I got in trouble.
Hey, don't feel bad. Paul McCartney got turned away at a Grammy party the other night. Well, listen, Sir Paul, you're always welcome in Beaver County. I will actually drive you around, whatever you need. We have much love for the Beatles. Oh, absolutely. Get him a chili dog. You'll never be the same. And we'll give you 6 to take back to the lovely Queen of England, too, who I have much love and respect for, too. Now, I want to talk about this whole CD. I've heard it. You've been on the radio. We were at your recording studio. It's incredible. And you know, the thing about you guys, timeless. How you continue to step up your game. And people are going to see all of that is great, what you hear, but what you guys still do better than anyone else. You bring your A game. Hermie and Ricky and obviously your cousin Tony, you guys still love to play in front of a live audience, right?
Oh, heck yeah. We tried to make the record thinking that way. It's like when we were arranging the songs this time, we thought, let's kind of chop them down a little bit so like when we play them live, we're not killing ourselves, first of all. Not meaning that we're not trying hard, but we made the parts speak to the audience. It was more of like, let's feel the organic side of what it is to be a rock and roll band instead of trying to dress it all up to where only like your most ardent fans would like it.
You guys are going to appreciate this. So I pick up my 2 kids from Quigley Catholic.
Yeah.
And I was explaining to my daughter, Eva, about Maury Speakeasy.
Oh.
So for people who don't remember the legend that was Maury, God rest his soul, talk about the
Best club owner ever.
Oh,
Yeah,
that place
we
jumped.
are.
It was Studio 54 before there was a 5 and a 4. You know what I mean? So talk about the Speakeasy in the early stages. And I was on stage with you right after you signed with A&M Records. And this set kind of has the same feel what's about to happen here. And Sean McDowell will be out front. Going to be a great night. Jimmy Ross going to show up. Going to be spectacular. He, of course, is the Jaggers and Skyliners fame. But explain about that electricity at Maury's back.
Well, one thing that I wanted to mention, in keeping with that, we're going to do Black Magic Woman, which was a staple of our show. We used to open the show, we'd walk through the crowd playing percussion. I don't know if we're going to do that.
Yeah.
That might be a little bit,
But
some logistics.
The electricity of that club, it started with the owner. He was the smartest guy because he kind of knew, and he sold himself, and he would sit at the bar every night and make friends. So people after a while started coming just to say, hey, I get to hang with Maury.
But the best, though, was when he and your brother Rick would talk. That was priceless because it was 2 promoters just talking promoting.
Well, we brought Frank Barcelona down there. If you read the Led Zeppelin book, the Stones book, Frank Barcelona, he was the, and that's ironic.
Head of Premier Talent.
Premier Talent. He was the premier booking agent. That's how we got on tour.
He signed us at Maury Speakeasy, and we're bragging to Maury later. We said, Maury,
Do you realize who you had in here?
He says, hey, I still got to open up Monday.
And he did.
That
And
was-
we used to close it down when the sun was coming up.
Oh, God, yeah.
Hey, now, let's talk about the music. Explain to the audience, because all I know is it makes, remember the old Dick Clark show, I like the beat, it's easy to dance to.
Yes.
I love the beat, it's easy to get up and move to. But explain to the audience if they haven't heard it, the music that is in the show.
Well, it is, Harvey keeps mentioning this, it's true, it's pretty spiritual. I mean, because, that's what drives our music, that's what drives us. And the song The Show, for instance, was a gift for me. It was, I dreamt it. I dreamt the whole song, and I got up and the song was done. So, I mean, it was a gift. And then Harvey was going through some issues with some eye surgery, and he was a little scared, so Keep Hope Alive, those lyrics.
Yeah, I've listened to that a few times myself, too.
Yeah, it's the best Herm's ever sung, the best lyrics he's ever written. So, I mean, God definitely left a hand, or lent a hand throughout the entire.
There was also something too otherworldly, Dave, like you said. We had originally planned to do this album like 3 years ago when there was a gentleman named Pete Bennett. He was still alive at the time.
Right.
He was the world's #1 promo guy, and we became friends with him late in our career. And that's like one of the cool twists of fate, because in his words, he said, had I got a hold of you guys 20 years ago. But he still, at this stage of the game, said, we're going to do another record. So we introduced him to a friend of ours named Jimmy Hoyson. We were out in L.A. the year before and ran into Jimmy, and then he came back home one time and he caught us down at, when we did the Maury Speakeasy reunion of all things, down at, where's down on the, down at
Jeffrey's
Jeffrey's Landing.
Landing.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So he came to see us. He said, man, you guys still got it. So we introduced him to Pete Bennett, and Pete said, oh, I really like this Jimmy Hoyson. And Pete had a feeling that we should hire a session drummer. Because he said, look, he said, nothing against your drummers. He said, but you 3 guys, meaning Hermie, Joey, and David,
We're full-time musicians.
we're full-time musicians. He said, we need a drummer that plays every day, that knows what's going on. He said, a session guy. He said, bands do it all the time, just nobody knows about it.
Right.
I mean, people would be shocked to know, like, for instance, the Bon Jovi album, big one. Only John Bon Jovi and Richie Sambora appear on that album. I shouldn't be saying this on camera, but I am.
He didn't really say that on camera, you're just
No,
hearing
no,
things.
But seriously speaking, he
Madame
said,
Tussauds
It's the
wax
Wizard
figure
of Oz,
that's
the man
in
behind the curtain.
but Jimmy Hoyson suggested Greg Bissonette, and ironically, we had met Greg when he was with David Lee Roth.
Right.
So a lot
And-
of things fell together.
Listen,
just naturally.
It happened even though Pete died, it still happened. It's like
Yeah,
somebody
his
still took
vision
strings.
Well, you guys have always put faith first. Your wonderful mother, Norma, your late father, your family. Obviously, the cookbook coming out, and they were baptized in the same sauce around that wonderful table every single Sunday. It's the CD release party. They're going to be kicking it, and I mean, folks, they're going to blow the roof off this place Friday night. If you haven't got your tickets, they're about going, gone. So get to Lincoln Park. I don't care how you do it, whether social media or you actually hitch a ride. It'll definitely be worth it when you take a ride with the Granadis as they hit the Main Stage Theater, and that is Friday night, courtesy of the good folks at Lincoln Park. Gendarme.
Thank you, Rob Pratt, always.
God bless you both.
Friends for life.
Thank you, Lincoln Park.
The best right here. Have a good night, everybody, from Lincoln Park.